The CPS chief released a statement saying, in fact, that they are not banning the book from the schools. They're saying that juniors and seniors will likely continue to study. But in the statement, they say, we're considering whether the book should be included after appropriate teacher training in the curriculum of 8th through 10th grade. Okay, after teacher training.
Yes.
What's your response to that?
My response to that is that this has already been studied. This book was included in a curriculum that has been analyzed and written by administrators and teachers alike. And so we are puzzled as to why all of a sudden this book is being removed, because it had already been analyzed and adopted for the curriculum in the Chicago Public Schools through a process approved by the Chicago Public Schools.
Yes. There's a literacy content toolkit available online at the CPS website for 7th graders that includes Persepolis as a book to be studied, an instructional text for a unit on identity. And you have to assume that the administrators and educators that put together that curriculum knew the content of the book and understood the developmental level of 7th graders when they recommended the book for that curriculum.
Do you believe there might have been a complaint or some complaints from parents and that this is reacting to that?
That is why we are requesting documents to find out precisely what happened. At this point, we do not know the origin of the complaint. The process that Chicago Public Schools libraries have put into place is just fine, and we just ask that we are wondering why this process was not followed.
As Barbara noted, there is a process in place for school library challenges in the schools that prohibits the removal of the book and requires the book to remain available to the students during the pendency of the challenge while a committee reviews the materials based on the complaint. We have some information about the source of the complaint actually via a phone call that is not verified, that it may have come from a principal in the school system who read the book and was concerned about the content. But we would like to know why, if there is a policy to address complaints like this in a fair manner that gives the book and the students a fair hearing in the matter, and if not, why the school board doesn't have that in place.
You know that there are depictions of violence, torture in the work. There are some four-letter words. You know, please explain the process that they go through to determine the Common Core curriculum. Who's advised? Who gives input?
The Common Core is developed by administration and by educators within the Chicago Public School. They use their professional expertise on child development issues to choose the books, and I must say that Persepolis has been adopted in many, many public school systems around this country. So this is very unusual for the Chicago Public Schools to be removing this book. In most cases, books are judged as a whole, not by one word, not by, in this case, because it's a graphic novel, one frame. It is judged as a whole and what the impact will have on students. And as Deborah pointed out, in this case, it's a unit on identity. And so the book would be read as a whole, not just a page here and a word there. As a whole, it would be looked at to talk about, in this case, a young Iranian woman's identity crisis when she goes to Iran and works with her family of many generations on the different issues that come up during this very revolutionary period in Iran. So we assume that a lot of expertise and a lot of professional expertise, consultation with psychologists, with developmental professionals was done before this book was added.
So the Common Core curriculum, this is for Chicago Public Schools, or it's statewide, or what's the?
The only information we have right now is that was adopted for the Common Core in Chicago Public Schools. We can, this is obviously something that can be explored in more depth later.